Hey there everyone, this is Yui. Welcome to episode 17 of Glacial Awakening. Today we're going to get into some resource and power generation. So let's get to it. Now, when we left off, we got into some deep mob learning and the slaughter factory. Both of those are going to be very important for this stuff, so make sure you round some of that stuff up, that you got at least a couple. We're going to be using, let's see, these ones: Enderman, Blaze, Witch, and Zombie. Zombie's easy, Witch is a little slower. Get it at least to the basic tier and you'll be good to get started. Same with the Blaze and the Enderman actually. The Blaze you can get while doing zombie trials if you don't remember. So get those four and any others you might want, and then you're going to need some stuff with it. But we'll get to that in a bit. I've been letting my pink slime build up. You don't actually need a whole lot now that I found a different way to do it. But before we do anything else, let's get power going. So up top here where I have all these windmills, I set up a ton of these controller slaves connected via oak trims where I need to. And then over here, I've got a drawer just for, the only thing I care about here is the wood. The rest of it, once it maxes out, it's going to void out, which I'm perfectly fine with. And I have a drawer controller right next to it. And then on each of them, I have these bonsai trees. There's about, what is this? There's 8 sections, so that's what, 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's 64 minus like 3, so 61. It's a lot, but it should help out tremendously. So what you're going to need for this, not this, is you're going to need, and not wood either. Let's put that away. I have a compacting drawer for charcoal. I locked that drawer too. Now, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a resourceful furnace. That's going to be used to smelt our wood into charcoal. And for that furnace, I have the 4 different upgrades. That's what those upgrades here are for. They're for the furnace. I am with these 61 bonsai trees. 4 generators will generate charcoal, so I am going to try out 5 this time. And we'll see how it goes. So you're going to need some fluid conduits and some item conduits, some sort of storage. I am using both a radiant tank and a black hole tank for a specific reason, and we'll get into that in a moment. So the first thing we're going to want to do is drop down our furnace. And since it's connecting to the windmills, it will gain power. So we don't have to worry about powering it because it has it. And then with that, underneath it, I am going to just put a conduit. I am going to insert into it and just extract. And the only thing out of the list of items that are in the controllers is the oak wood that can go in here. So sticks can't, leaves can't, and saplings can't, so it will only pull out the oak wood. Now with that, we're going to, well, you can feed it back into the controller slave actually. So maybe I'll do that instead. Yeah, that makes sense. I had it set up differently before. We'll extract and insert. And it should. Why not? Why you not like it? Oh, did I forget the active? Yes. Alright, there we go. So now we have charcoal being generated. It's hard to see with the windmill, but we hold shift here, it's going up. And it gets quite a bit of wood, so now we need to store this essence because we're going to use it later. So for that, I'm just going to take a conduit. I'm just going to pipe on top of it. That'll be perfectly fine. Always active, and insert into the black hole tank. This is going to be the buffer tank. And then we're going to have another one where I'm going to insert. No, well, yeah, there. That'll work. So insert and extract from the black hole tank. Just insert into the radiant tank. And just extract from the resourceful furnace. What that'll do is this radiant tank will always be full of essence, so we can access it with one of these radiant amphoras. I should have one for essence. Maybe not. Oh, I took it down, so it's going to be one of these two. This one. Because that Y level is really high up. Just going to link it back up so we have access to it later. Did I lose a conduit? There we go. Alright. So we've got the charcoal generating. We have the essence being taken care of, so we don't have to worry about this furnace anymore. Now what we need to do is set up the fuel generators. I'm using the petrified fuel generators from Industrial Foregoing. They're pretty expensive, because they each need the industrial machine chassis. But if you just autocraft them, it's not that bad, really. So I am going to set them up on top of the power line. And 5, alright. Then we're going to put in the conduits. Alright, from the back of the compacting drawer here, if we can see it. Okay, let me get my wrench then. This is being difficult. We're going to just shift click, we'll go to there, and here we're going to put in a filter. This filter is going to whitelist charcoal blocks. Now if you do a charcoal block instead of charcoal, so a thing to note with these petrified fuel generators is regardless if you put in a stick, a block of coal, a piece of coal, or like a block of coal coke or anything like that, anything you put in here will burn time will be 37.5 seconds. So if you want to calculate how much RF it generates, 37.5 times whatever you put in there. So let's grab one of each of these. So if you put in this, there you go. Do 37.5 times 80 times 20, and that'll tell you how much power total you're generating. But since a block is 9 pieces of charcoal, it's 10 times more efficient though. So you basically get an extra piece of charcoal every block you do. So do the blocks. Alright, back to setting this up. West side. Alright, so whitelist, always active. Oh. And just in case we run out, round robin. And then we need to access the tops and tell them to insert. And one more. Alright, there we go. And because I don't like it, this one is going to have to turn around. There. Alright. That way they all face the same way at least. Okay, so now there's going to be a backlog of charcoal, for me at least. So this is not going to be an accurate representation of how fast they fill up. So we'll just have to monitor it and see if they gain or lose charcoal over time. And then I'll tell you if you need more or less generators. But overall, there's 5 of them. They're generating 800 RF a tick. So that is, 4,000 RF a tick from them, and then plus some from the kinetic dynamos. I rewired the entire base. Oh, I forgot the upgrades here. Don't forget your upgrades. It makes it significantly cheaper. Are you extracting? Not really. Let me get the better one. No. What? No, I want the ender fluid. Here. There. Oh, it keeps swapping it out when I right click with it. There we go. Extract, always active. Do not insert. You can extract too. I think that's what's confusing, though. Let's see. No, it's good. Going up slowly. Alright, so that's our buffer. I rewired everything, so this is now using the HV stuff, which means if I run into it... Oh, it didn't happen. Oh, there it goes. I get electrocuted and thrown. But this is the power setup. It is going to be sufficient for a long time, and we can expand it if we need to. Alright, so with that, we need a ton of pink slime next. So the best way to do this is grab yourself a mob duplicator, which is not that bad. And then you're going to need a mob imprisonment tool. So what you're going to have to do, though, is to get this gas tier, either do the weeping blocks, which we've done before, or if you set up your deep mob learning for the blaze already, you should have a couple of the matters and you can just convert it over. Either way will work. But you're going to take your imprisonment tool. We're going to grab all this actually. And we have the pink slime. So I have my amphora linked to the pink slime. Oh, we're going to need that one too actually. So yeah, here. I redid all my wiring and I moved it around so it's a lot cleaner. At least I think. And I'm using the, what is it, the vibrant cables? Or what do they call them? Ender energy. They take the vibrant crystals though. Alright. Get rid of this because we don't need it. So I am going to set this up. Just connect it to power wherever. Doesn't really matter where. You're not going to need it a whole ton. So I'm going to go back here. Out of the way. I'm going to dig a few holes just to feed it along. And then dump the pink slime in. So when one spawns, if it does, come on. We'll do some more then. Alright. So when one spawns, that's your cue to spawn. Hello. It's always so slow when you need it. There we go. You just right click it and it'll capture it in the imprisonment tool. I'm going to pick the rest of this up because we don't need it anymore. Now let's head back over. Now with this, you can place it in here. I have power and I have essence being generated passively from the charcoal burning. And this is linked to that. So what we can do now is I got looting on my sword. To do that, I made this guy. This enchanter from Ender.io. It is just dark steel, 2 diamonds, and a book, so it is literally steel and obsidian. And then you can use it to make specific enchanting books, the ones that you want. So this one's just 3 mob heads and lapis, and that'll get you looting 3 plus 27 levels. And a book and quill. You can do a lot of things. I don't think you can do like mending. Oh no, you can. Maybe I'll do mending. But so if you're missing specific enchants, use that and use an anvil. This stone anvil is still working for me, so I don't know how long it's supposed to last, but it's been lasting. Anyways, now that we have the mob duplicator, we have the pink slime. So let's just fill it and watch. Oh, Thank you. I don't want any. Scared me, jeez. So, I have HV wire here, so they have a tendency to go flying. And so if you just right-click on this, it'll put 1 bucket's worth of experience, which will spawn 3 slimes. And they touch the wire and they go flying. Oh, it did 4. And it does the big ones, so when you break them down, each of these can drop pink slime. Yes, thank you. Stop sneaking up on me. And doing it this way for like 1 bucket's worth of experience. Oh. You get, I've already got a stack and a half. So this is a much faster way of doing it. Almost. And 1 more. Ow, I keep touching that wire. I shouldn't fly around here. Where are you going? There we go. So, 1 bucket. There you go. 2.5, almost 3 stacks. I moved my villagers into soul vials. You can craft them pretty easily. It's just gold and soul sand. And you get these guys. So, and fuse cords. But you can pick up any mob with them, and you can use them for spawners later if you want. Which I might do if I can actually find any spawners. Alright, so we've got power. We've got pink slime. Now, you're going to need a ton of steel. Now, the easiest way I've found to do this is if you're running your ore puller, I keep clearing it out, you'll get some diamonds. You'll need a ton of diamonds also. But you'll get the coal. So just take your looting and break it down, and you'll get the coal. Put it in a compacting drawer, you'll get the blocks of coal. I just take those blocks, I fill a ton of these. Stop doing that. They need an insulated version of that. So I put, I don't know, a lot in here. I just have them exporting to storage. Where's my wire? There, this. There is an interface right there that they pipe into, and this is connected all the way back to base. So I did it again. I usually run, not fly. And now I'm flying, and so I keep hitting it. So now you should have a good amount of coal generating, and you can make the blocks of coal coke. So what you could do is if you take, I don't know, we'll just say 10. Yeah, sure, 16, 17, 20. There we go. Iron you can get from the ore puller. 1-to-1 ratio still. There's an Enderman nearby. Bring it all the way to your arc furnace. Actually, no. You make a stop at your crusher first. You drop off the blocks of coal coke. Oh, my magnet. Turn your magnet off when you do that. Because it will... There's a little hole in there. I don't know if you can see it. But if it doesn't touch it, then, you know, it doesn't get into the machine's inventory. Then we're going to convert these blocks of iron over to bars. That's good enough to get started with. Alright, for this, take your iron. We'll just do 3. Fill up each slot. If you have good power, so if you've swapped out your cables like this, and we just did the power generation, so we're generating a large amount of power, put your iron in on the left, put your coke dust here on the right, and then you'll notice each of them ticks up at the same time. If it runs out of power, it'll go slot by slot like it was doing last time that I used this. Let's fill it up. So it will actually do all 12 of them at once. So it is significantly faster. It's 20 seconds for 12 steel rather than I don't know how long using the blast furnace. Okay, on top of that, let's just quickly cover one more thing while we're here. These multi-block machines from MagneticCraft. Oh, which one's this? This is like the crusher or something, or grinder. I don't remember what they call it. This weird thing on the back is how you export. That's for both of these. This one, it doesn't export from the top, even though it connects there, so I guess that's an insert. But you can also insert it on the little blue spots, which look like that. So that's what it is here on the front, so it's inserting there. The sieve, or sifter, or whichever it's called. Hey, you could stop that wire. Has 3 export slots on the bottom, based off of which slot it is here. So you can export from there. So I just have the crusher going straight to the sieve, except for gravel. I have a filter. Gravel just goes there. Oh no, it's an insert. I just have a blacklist on gravel. So I could just dump, say, sure, iron, gold. That's all I really put in here, actually. Put it in here, it'll crush it up. It'll export into here. Then it'll export from here into here. And that stuff will export down below. This episode is going to be longer than before because I really want to cover this stuff. And then it fills up in here. Then I take this stuff. Let's take it all. That'll work. I have a crate here feeding into the manufactory, and then I just dump it in here. And it'll fill up the manufactory. This stuff I just manually put in here. So that's how I've been generating a ton of, well, resources so far. What we're going to do today is a little different. So we have a way to make steel. We have the power to support it. We have the pink slime we're going to need. So now you need lasers. You need a laser base and a 1 to 4 laser drills per base. I am going 2. So I'll have 1 base and 2 drills because it'll be easier to set it up in a compact space. I have 32 bases, yeah, and 64 drills, and it kills your resources. I don't have enough to do this again. Yeah, look, I've got 4 diamonds left. That's how bad it is. And you need a ton of steel. Plastic I started up again because I needed more of that. But that's how you would... That's to give you an idea of how much you need. You need, what, like 512 diamonds? Plus another... Here's another 256. It was a ton of diamonds. If you don't have the enchantments on your pick, plus the astral sorcery thing, so I can just take these diamonds and mine them. Let's see what I get. So I only got 3.25 per. But what you can do is, if you want, astral sorcery can do 4 times with starlight infusion. So if you don't have a good pick, that's an option for you. Let's just dump that because we don't need it. Alright. So I still want to automate deep mob learning. But before we do that, we're going to do this. With just a... So make sure in your pattern terminal... No, sorry. Well, yeah, make sure you make a pattern for the strainers. I'm using the cheap one because it's going to automatically make them. You have the option to use iron or diamonds if you really want. To me, that's not worth it because it's just gonna, for the price of sticks, it's not a big deal. So over here at my strainer place, I rearranged it a little bit. Here's a strainer on the left. I put a hopper into it. Onto that hopper, I'm going to put this export bus, and I'm just going to connect it to my system. So now this export bus is working, but it's not exporting anything. So you need one strainer to begin with. You put it in, and then I'll just put it in there. I have none in the system. So what you're going to need to do is make a crafting card. It is just a crafting table and a basic card, so it is really cheap to make. And then throw that here. And now if you watch the computer, it'll craft it up at whenever it needs to. What that means is once this fills up all 5 slots, once it goes into it, once one breaks basically, it'll replace it. So what I'm doing this for is clay. Clay and sticks will help remake the strainer. I also have a bonsai tree back behind the drawer here, just for a little bit of extra wood and sticks. But basically this will be our supply of clay. Come in here, it'll go through these conduits into this interface here. So it'll go back into the system. So that'll get us clay, because we need to make polymer clay. And we're going to need a lot of it. So we're going to need lapis, iron, gold, and we have clay now. So we're going to set up the lasers and hopefully we'll get enough iron, gold, and lapis to support it. So let's go set up the lasers. So like I said, I've got a lot of them. I've cleared out a 4 chunk. It's just 2 by 2. There you go, so you can see. And it took a while. I won't lie. The best way to do this is take your radiant amphora, if you have one, link it to a tank with a void upgrade, keep it in your offhand, and hold right click while you're mining the ice. And it will pick up the water as soon as it gets it. Alright, so I've got power here. The base doesn't need power, but the drills do. So the drills, though, or the base needs access to bedrock, which is why we're down at the bottom of the world. That's what a base looks like. It's got 4 holes on each side, which are for the lasers to point into. So if you, let's see, is it this way? Yeah. It'll point into it. It'll do nothing because this has no power. Once I connect it with power, let's see, I made a bunch of cables. We're going to need these also. Actually, I don't want it here. Let me move it over 1. You can go away for a second. Here and here. 1 gap between them. Have your base and the drill. Once you connect the drill to power, it'll gain power. It'll work, and every time it does fill up, it'll tick this up just a little bit. So if you have all 4 of them going, it's a little faster. But what I'm going to do is I am going to just line up the bases side by side. Actually, yeah. Well, since I made this 2 chunks, I could just go the whole distance. I was going to do side by side, but there. Good enough. That's how many I'm doing. 32 for now. I'll probably expand it, to be honest, because I go crazy like that. And with the diamonds that we'll be getting from here, it should pay for itself. So let's just fill her in. At least I'm pretty sure you get diamonds from this. I'll have to actually check the list. Let's see what we get. Laser. If you hit uses on the base, there's a laser tab. It'll tell you what you get. So we'll get black quartz, Certus quartz. Ooh, that'll be nice. Charged quartz, rock crystal. I wasn't expecting rock crystals. Aquamarine shell, coal, iron, redstone, gold, lapis. Those are the 3 we need. Emerald, diamond. Nether, we won't get nether quartz, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And we won't get glowstone. But we'll get uranium, sulfur, tungsten, tin, lead, silver, copper. That's bauxite's like aluminum. Nickel, cobalt. Nope, not getting that. Boron, magnesium, lithium, thorium. So you get everything you need. So I am just going to... Yeah, I'm going to wire it like this. That way, 1 power cable can feed 2 drills if I put another row in. If you can't make this many, don't worry about it. Make them as you can. Because like I said, theoretically they should pay for themselves. And I know it's a lot of resources. Oh no. Really? 2? Oh, no. I'll be back in a second. I'm going to make a bunch more conduits. Alright, and we're back. So I made a bunch of conduits, but bad news. So the petrified generators, right? Is that what it was? Petrified fuel generators that we set up. Each one of those supports 800 RF a tick, but those bonsai trees, I just checked it, is going down. So what that means is it can support 4 generators plus a little bit extra. It can't support 5 fully, but it can support 4 of them fully and a partial 5th. So we're only going to be generating roughly what I would say is just round it down to the 3200 RF a tick, which means each of these, if you look at it, they use 100 RF a tick. So we can only actually have 32 of these running safely with our current power setup. So for that, I am just going to leave half of them running, and what that'll do is my power will actually be going up because I have more than just those. So I am still maxed out on power, but we can't run them all. So here, just to give you a quick example, I plug it in, it'll run twice as fast. Oh, here's a quick, so you can get some emeralds. You do get glowstone and you do get nether quartz, which I thought was weird because it said no. But you also get your diamonds, your aquamarine shale, some Certus quartz. There's some rock crystals. I'm probably going to have to make storage doors for these. We'll have to see. But you do get nether quartz and you get your black quartz. So you get a good amount of stuff. But if we go back up here and we check our power, it'll be going down like 2000. Yeah, 2700. Not good. And that's with, I'm pretty sure, nothing running, because I think the manufactory finished. Yeah, and I turned off the stonework factory. Oh, that's right, I made a stonework factory for some silicon, some glass, and right now it's creating some gravel because I needed a ton of conduits. No, well, the conduit binder, so I can make all those facades. So yeah, it's going down 2700. So if we go and just disconnect half of it, I go down, which is easy. We just go boop. And let's go check the power. It should be going up like 5 to 700, which is not much, but it's enough to run the base off of. Yeah, about 500. So keep that in mind. And that'll actually go down more once the charcoal catches up. So we're just going to do half. I've set up all these item conduits. They're all set to always extract. So to transfer these near my elevator here, we go up to the top. There's my storage chest, so it's like right there, a few blocks away. So I'm just going to set this up about there. That should be good. Let's see. We need to drop its range to like 10 because it does not need to go 150. And that hits the elevator, so we're good. And on the bottom side, we'll set this to insert. And now all these guys will start dumping their stuff. Now they're all empty. So that's generating ores. And we've got power. So, and we've got clay. So we need to process some of those ores at least. Preferably sooner. So let's set that up. Because we need lapis. We're going to need... Well, we need iron. But we're going to skip iron. And we need gold. Ooh, the ore, preferably. So let's see, what can we do with this? If we go to lapis, you can smelt it for 1, not very good. Crusher it for 9, that's not bad. If we get farther in the quest, we can get a actually additions crusher, that's even better. Grinder for 6, no. Starlight Infusion for 9. Okay. This will only get you 3. Enrichment Chamber. 1. 8. So let's go with the Crusher. Which I did not set up. So let's go set that up real quick. Here's my Crusher. I do have cable. And it is connected up to the system. So we can take this crate, which is the normal output. Oh, I ran out of obsidian for my speed upgrades. I'm going to run this along the ground and up the wall. It's a roundabout way of going, but it'll be out of the way. That doesn't connect. Okay, we need the crate back. There we go. Extract, always active, because this will auto-export to the crate. And then... Where's my conduits? Let's run it... right there. Give me that stone. Alright, I have more facades, so cover it up. Well, let's test this out real quick. So it should be going in here, which means it should be going into the computer. And it is. Alright. There we go. And then we'll just bury it. And that's why I want it there, so I still have this walkway. Alright, so we've got that. So what we need now is an exporter. I had one from my bag. I'm going to set this up pointing onto the dropper. Any cable. I don't have cable on me. I put it away so I could craft with it. Let's grab a little bit. And let's make another exporter while we're here. Alright. So since this is a, what do you call it? Like a forge multi-block or whatever you want to call it. we'll just use that. There we go, it's hooked up. Gotta be careful with how many connections I have. What that's, oh, now we're good. And in here, we're just gonna say export lapis. It'll get tossed in there, and then it'll drop here and go into the system, which works just fine. A little noisy now. What you can make is this sound muffler. I made one a long time ago. If you shift right click, it goes into record mode, and shift right click again, and just right click, hit add, recent, and then what? It's a bat takeoff? No. What is it? Maybe it doesn't catch it? Oh, no, I think it was a bat takeoff. No, I don't know. But I did this for the... what do you call it? These, collectors. Because if you don't have it, you hear that clicking every so often, which is just annoying. I'll have to look into that more. That up there. Anyway, so now we've got lapis processing, so now we need to process gold, which will be... I don't want to do the arc furnace. Manufactory. I mean, at that point we might as well use the grinder. Yeah, let's do that. Let's set it up. Make another exporter. Head over here. And this wire is going to run right there. Right? Yep, perfect. I'm just going to connect it up. Let me get rid of this. So these are already set to extract, so now whatever comes out of the sifter is going to go into storage. And so now we need... is there another one? There's one on top. We'll just put it here. It's not going to be pretty, but I can move it later. So we're going to export. We need one of these, and then we need to connect up our ME conduits. I'd rather here. Where's my magnet? Stop leaving stuff everywhere. Alright, let's just wire this with the rest of the system. And bury it. There we go. I think there was some back here. I just do that so, like I said before, these conduits, they have a little bit of frame lag. So if you sit here and look, I've installed lag goggles, profile FPS. It takes 30 seconds. You stay still. I recommend adding it to your whatever pack you're playing though, because it can help you figure out what's lagging, either the world or your frame rate. Now we just gotta wait 10 more seconds. So I did the FPS option this time, but you can do tick option, which means basically if you're putting down a block and it's like lagging, like you put it down and it doesn't appear right away, that's tick lag. But FPS lag is when it stutters. So as you can see, these conduits, they have a small, oh, too much rendering. They have a small lag, but these facades do not. And there's the animals over there are in the red. But that's how you can tell. Anyways, let's see. So we should be able to export gold now. We'll go in here, go into there. Yep, perfect. Go into the system, and now we need to deal with the crushed gold. Yeah, all this other junk too. That stuff I'll deal with later. But if we go to our trusty old manufactory, which is covered, we're going to go underneath. So we're going to grab that exporter, which I forgot to do. Dump it into the manufactory. Oh, whoops. That's useless like that. Gold. I'm going to give it the 2 capacity cards so I can add, say, iron to the list later. But now, whenever we get gold, it's going to get into the manufactory. Which means we might actually need to make another manufactory for auto-crafting purposes because this might get tied up. But basically, now we have all the resources we need to make clay, the polymer clay, constantly. So we're going to get another exporter, another crafting card, and some clay. Sure, give me a stack to start with. So like I said, we've got clay coming in, we have the gold coming in, we did the lapis and the gold. So actually we don't have iron coming in, but if you set this up, you'll get iron. Let me put some of this away so it's not as bad. We'll probably need some. We don't need that. Alright. So like I said, you're going to want, or you're probably going to need, in the long run, the Enderman, which will get us basically endstone, which we'll need for automation. The blaze gets you a few things, gas tiers, but it'll get you soul sand too, which we need a lot of soul sand for some reason. And I'm tired of making it manually. The zombie will use the pristine matter and we'll get iron. And we're doing a witch for redstone, just extra redstone. You can skip the witch, you don't need to. But you're going to need at least 1 overworld, 1 nether, and 1 end mob. And that'll be the best. So to set this up, we're using XNet again. So you're going to need 4. Yeah, let's do 4 advanced controllers, which I am just going to run down the middle. I am going to connect the loot fabricators on one side, the simulation chambers on the other, and in each of these simulation chambers I am going to put 1 of the mobs. We'll just go in order. There we go. Alright. We're going to need a controller, which needs to connect to... I'm using the advanced connectors. It is very important you use the advanced connectors for this because we need directions. So we're going to put a controller on, and we're going to need a... Well, we're going to need that crate back that I put away. Crate? Wonder if I should move this over. Darn. That might be a good idea. Let's just move this over one block. And the reason I'm doing this is so that attached to one of the connectors is the interface. So we have access to dump items. We need the controller. Yeah, sure, the controller can go here. We're going to need the crate, which is going to be for exporting. So we're going to set that up real quick. We're not going to connect it because actually, you know what? A crate is way big. Let's go with a drawer. A basic drawer. And if we look up drawers, what is it, Flint? Is that it? This one, yes. Out of things, we're going to make a Flint Upgrade so it only holds one stack of items. Put that here, because we don't want a backlog of clay. And we're gonna lock it. Where's my key? All right. Oh, give me one. Export this, and if you don't have it, craft it. That's what that tells it to do. All right, and then we can connect that up when we're ready. Oh, actually, no. The whole point of putting this here was to connect to that. Fine. Do it that way. Carry-on is in here, but it doesn't work well with drawers. Because if you shift right click a drawer, you just open up its interface. Alright. So we've got our controller. We have our 4 things. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to name them. So this is a blaze, so I'm going to right click on the connector. I'm going to call this Blaze. That way, when I look in the controller, I can say, oh, this is connector Blaze, as opposed to, oh, block loot fabricator. That doesn't help me tell which one it is, and we need to know. So this is a witch. This is a zombie. And that makes the one I can't see an Enderman. Since none of these have power. If you put these down and you give it power and then pick it up, it will lose that power. Alright, there we go. So we've got all 4 of them. They're all named. So we can see which ones go to which. That is important so we know which loot fabricators to put them in. As you see, they have nothing, but they will store the recipe if you let them. All right, we're gonna make an energy channel first. We're just gonna call it power. It is going to now I don't like the placement. Let's move everything over one block. Really? You can't even go in a box? You're so useless. Alright, let's try this again. Drawer. I know this is 2 blocks, it's fine. It just means I need one more cable. This, lock it, upgrade. Alright, controller. You go here, we need a conduit. Enderman, it says it's air. That's funny. This is actually going to be the conduit. So for here, we're going to extract power from the conduit. And let's see if this works. Which one's this? Blaze. Blaze getting power. Yes. Alright. Sweet. Copy. Paste. So now everyone gets power, including the controller. Actually, you don't need to do the controller if it's connected to the conduit. Alright. That probably killed our power supply. Yeah, it'll recover. Because these things will transfer quite a bit of energy pretty quick. And they're all full. Alright. Now we're going to need a second channel for items. Okay, so we're going to extract from the drawer. We're going to do, sure, single is fine. Yeah, that'll work. And then we need to insert it into the simulation chambers. So if you insert it, it's going to be on the up side. So who was that? Blaze is now getting clay. Let me disable that. Oh, that's not going to matter. Disable that. There. I don't want it running just yet. So you have to insert to the top side of the simulation chambers. So let's just set it all up. Alright. We're going to make... Actually, I'm going to change this one to clay. Now we're going to create another item channel. This is going to be for the matter. Let's call this actually P matter maybe. Actually no, matter is fine. Alright, so from that we're going to extract from the north side, the front face. This is Blaze, and let's just, for testing purposes, oh no, never mind. Except this is insert, we need to extract. Extract from north. And then we need the pristine matter. So let's just copy it first, paste it, and for now we're going to insert into the interface. That'll be fine. And it's gone. So let's re-enable this. This should fill everyone up with some clay. Single random order. What am I looking for? Yeah, whatever. I'll just manually split it up to begin with. You're going to need to run these to get the pristine matter. So once this finishes, it'll generate it, but that pristine matter that it just created just went into storage. Yep, so I will be back once I have one of each of the pristine matters, or the 4 that we're doing. Alright, I have each of the pristine matters for each of the mobs that we're doing. So now what we're going to do is go back to your controller. On that 3rd channel where we're extracting, we're going to go to each of the connectors for the loot fabricators. We're going to create and insert priority. We're just going to increase it. We're going to change this to a whitelist. It is on whitelist, never mind. And the mob that it's for. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it and change the drop. North side, is that going to work? I think this actually has to be up. So change it to up. There we go. So this is going to be, this one here is the witch, which is the one that took forever for me to get. Zombie. And Enderman. There we go. So now it should extract from the simulation chamber. It'll insert into each of the loot fabricators the pristine matter. Everything else will go to the ME interface. Now the last thing we got to do is, this is the blaze. This is a witch. This is the zombie and the enderman. And pick what you want. So we're going to get blaze rods because that's the only option. But we're doing this more for the matter rather than the blaze rods. This one, pick redstone or glowstone. We're going to get both from mining, but I don't know. Swap it up if you need to. I'm just going to go with redstone for now. Over here, we're going to get our iron. So this will offset the need for processing the iron we get from the lasers. And then here, I'm going to do ender pearls. So we have a good supply of ender pearls. All right. Now, actually, one more thing we got to do is create a 4th channel, items, create. This is going to be the processor output. We're going to extract. North side should be fine. Let's paste it. And we're going to insert into there. So they should be empty. Emptying. We don't want to do that. Go back here and change it from single to stack. Same here, actually. We can extract stacks. I guess we could do stacks everywhere. That'll work. Alright, so you should all be empty. There. So now when it gets a pristine matter, let's just fill them up. Let's see. Success. So Blaze will get one. So it should, once it finishes, it'll put it here. And there we go. So now we are automating those simulation chambers. Now, a thing to note is your power supply at this point will not be able to keep up with it. As you can see, I am losing power. So we're going to have to increase the bonsai trees and the petrified generators, which I will do off camera. But the last thing we're going to do is just hook this up. Do I have, there we go. Here, and then I'm just going to bring it over. Over. Yeah, that'll be fine. And there. So now this drawer will, well, it'll all fill up, and then this drawer will fill up. So you're also probably going to want to make another crafting setup. That way the clay doesn't keep interrupting it and the strainer doesn't keep interrupting it. But that's basically it. So the only thing we need to work on right now is increasing our power generation so we don't sink. To do that, we can get away with probably another 16 bonsai trees and another petrified generator, because we're only in the negative by a little bit. But I'm probably going to do another stack, but I'll do that later. Anyways, that's about it. So we have power, we have ores being generated, we have the matters being generated, which we can use to auto-craft some of the stuff we need moving forward. And then we have the ores, some of the ores being auto-processed. You can add in other ones to the same setups. Pick which machine works best for it. And then we've got our ways of getting steel and pink slime that we covered. So I know it was a long episode, but I just wanted to cover all that on camera in case you guys run into similar issues of not having enough resources. So with that, oh, look at that. Filling up. Anyways, that's about it then for this episode. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.